I'm going to ask you a question about board service.
Ooh.
So you've been on a ton of different boards, and I don't think it's any secret that I'm a big believer that organizations should have boards that are reflective of and center the people they serve, and more importantly, be reflective of the communities they should be accountable to.
Right.
And because of that, I've spent a lot of time asking nonprofit boards to both become more reflective and a lot of time recruiting the millions of amazing leaders we have in this state to serve on boards. I haven't recruited a million, but that's in my horizons. And when I've done that, I've had a lot of folks come back and say, like, they experienced tokenism, or they felt invisibilized, or they got invited to serve on the board, and then they felt silenced. And I don't know that as a state and as a nonprofit sector, we have figured out yet how to equip people to be agents of change and to really successfully advance equity in the boardroom. And it's actually unfair to put that responsibility on those folks. But you've been on a lot of boards, and you have probably been the one and only on a lot of boards. And so how do you do it? Like, I've seen you be incredibly successful at transforming boards, asking hard questions about equity. Like, what are some of your secret tools that the rest of us can benefit from? They don't have to be secrets.
You're being way too kind about my board participation. I've been on many boards. There have been many times when I felt pretty invisible or alone, and where the values that keep talking about, have you donated enough versus is the work really going in the meaningful direction kind of things. I think that you made me think about two things very, very powerfully in that space when you're asking that question. One was a conversation we had almost in the initial time that we were getting to know each other. And you were calling out the fallacy of not enough talented BIPOC folks out there, and just how much you were very actively kind of breaking that falsehood and taking that down, and almost by your own actions of staff recruitment and other things, just kind of waving it in people's faces that if you're gonna just quit because you think there aren't qualified folks out there, it's not because there aren't qualified folks out there. It's because you're looking for a reason to quit trying. And so that was really an important, it's just so important to hear that and see that. And it makes other folks, other organizations, other boards work harder to really reach a different outcome. And I think that's powerful. I think the boards are steeped, they are built on the same constructions that were meant to oppress a lot of people. They're meant to hoard power, hoard decision-making, and create spaces that are really rarefied, either by locked doors or by language that is inscrutable, and procedures and processes that you have to be expert at in order to navigate. And I think there's a lot of work for us to continue to do to kind of extricate, to find opportunities to deconstruct some of those elitist kinds of approaches. I think that's important work. I am really concerned about the exceptionalism approach that we've had to putting one or two people on boards or in other spaces as well.
Yeah.
Another thing I've been thinking about that is much more a reflection of Black and brown community than anything else, but I'm thinking a lot about the story of Ruby Bridges, because I have lifted that story up so many times in my mind and in my talks and presentations and examples. I'm picturing in my head right now the painting done by Norman Rockwell of Ruby walking. There's like a tomato splattered on the wall behind her, and there's four people, you can't even see them because they're grown-ups and they're bigger than the frame of the painting. Do you know which one I'm talking about? Thought about all of that and all these words that used to come into my head about courage and dedication. And I think about that picture differently these days. And I'm embarrassed a little bit about the way I've looked at that. I think about what it means to be asking maybe our youngest people to be directly placed in harm's way as a way to create change in this country. Are we really a country of cowards in that deep way that we must only move once we see the most fragile and youngest of us making a move. I believe in youth power, but I also really, really think that imagery is painful. I think about the soul, the oneness of her walking in that picture, in that frame, and in the photographs that you might see of Ruby Bridges. The oneness, this one person doing this all by herself, no one else, extracted from a community where she is known and has belonging and placed into this space that is completely alien. And it's important to really think, like, when Ruby Bridges walked into that school, she spent the first year not actually knowing that there were any other students in that school. All of the other students, the white students, continued their classes completely separate from her. Her only relationship was to a teacher. And she went into a classroom every day by herself. How is that integrating a school? How is that a benefit to this one exceptional person who is placed by themselves in a space and then asked them to figure out how to learn? I think about the image itself of her walking towards the school, but not even being in the school or exiting the school, but walking towards the school. So the accomplishment is that you can sort of go towards something. This sort of incrementalism is our value system, rather than hordes of students like her being in a school, fully integrated with a lot of other people. This concept of exceptionalism is so woven into our stories, even the ones that we lift up, the ones that we say are wonderful, the stories that we want to tell our grandkids about what it means to be cool and courageous and break down barriers and stuff like that.
Well, I want to thank you for your time, and thank you for that beautiful example, and thank you for the reminder, because it's so easy to fall into the trap of exceptionalism, especially in the field of philanthropy. So I'll be taking that gift with me.
Wonderful.